This is Chapter 2, Section 6 notes. Today we're going to be converting units. So in order to convert units, you need to know things like there are 12 inches in 1 foot, or there are 3 feet in 1 yard. So this chart is just a chart to let you know what some conversions are, because we'll use those in the problems. So you're going to want to keep this close by. You're going to use this chart quite a bit. So for the first couple sections, it says, you are shopping for t-shirts. Which store offers the best deal? So store A sells 22 shirts for $25. Store B sells 4 shirts for $45. And store C sells 3 shirts for $30. And you're trying to figure out which one has the best deal. So what you do is you take the amount of money and you divide by the number of shirts. So this will give you what's called a unit price, or a price per shirt. So this first one, if I take $25 and I divide it by 2 shirts, each shirt would end up costing me $12.50. For the next store, I take $45 and I divide by 4 shirts. That means each shirt is $11.25. And for the third store, I take $30 and divide by 3 shirts, and that's $10 for each shirt. So which store offers the best deal? Store C is the answer. It offers the best deal at $10 per shirt. So the next part is going to be the converting unit. So this is where we're going to use this chart up here. So it says, what is the given amount converted to given units? So to do this, we're actually going to use some fractions. So it wants to know how to get from 330 minutes to hours. So I'm going to start with my first fraction. And that's 330 minutes over 1. Okay, we put anything over 1 just to make it a fraction. So then I need to figure out, well, minutes and hours. I know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So I want my units to cross off. So because their minutes are up top, I'm going to make sure my next fraction has the minutes on the bottom and the hours on the top. So what that does is it makes sure that I can cross off my minutes, because one's on the top of a fraction, one's on the bottom. Okay, so the only units left are hours, which is exactly what I want. So now I just multiply across. So 330 times 1 should give me 330. And then on the bottom, 1 times 60 is 60. Now I just can divide 330 divided by 60, which will give me 5.5, and again, the only units left were hours. Okay, so my next problem gives me 5 feet 3 inches, and it wants me to convert to inches. Well, I already have 3 inches here, so I don't need to convert that part. I just need to convert the 5 feet. So I'm going to start with my very first fraction, 5 feet over 1. Now, if I go back up to my chart, I can see very first one, there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So I want to eliminate the feet. So that means if it's on the top here, I'm going to put it on the bottom of the second fraction. So my feet get eliminated. Now my inches are my only units left. So 12 inches in 1 foot, but my foot got eliminated with this foot. So now I multiply. 5 times 12 is 60. 1 times 1 is 1, so 60 over 1. Then 60 divided by 1 is 60. And then I have to add back in these 3 inches from the beginning. So 60 inches plus 3 inches will give me a total of 63 inches. The next problem works with kilograms to grams. So again, I'm going to try and find that up in my chart, which is right here. So 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. So I'm going to use that. I start with 15 kilograms. So again, 15 kg over 1. Now I want my kilograms to cross off. So I'm going to put that unit, the 1 kg, at the bottom. And that means the 1,000 grams goes to the top. So I can cross off the kg, and the only unit I have left are grams. So then I multiply. 15 times 1,000 is 15,000, and 1 times 1 is just 1. So I just am left with 15,000 grams, or 15,000 G. Okay, if you're ever confused about how grams are abbreviated or any of these up here, what the abbreviations stand for, just ask. So this next one is an application problem, and it says the CN Tower in Toronto, Canada is about 1,815 feet tall. About how many meters tall is the tower? Use the fact that 1 meter equals 3.28 feet. Now that is a conversion that we don't have up on our chart, so you're going to want to make sure you have that. So 1 meter equals 3.28 feet. So go ahead and write that in on your chart. So it starts with 1,815 feet. So that's going to be my first fraction over 1. Then I use this conversion. Now, because feet are on the top of this fraction, I'm going to put it on the bottom of the next fraction. So 1 meter goes on top, and then the 3.28 feet go on bottom. So my feet cross off, leaving with just meters, which is perfect. That's what I want my answer to be in. So 1,815 times 1 is 1,815. 1 times 3.28 is 3.28. So then I divide these two numbers, and I get 553.35, and my only unit left is meters. The next problem is probably the most confusing because there's multiple steps and there's multiple units. So it says a student ran the 50-yard dash in 5.8 seconds. So now we have two units, 50 yards and 5.8 seconds. So now our fraction isn't going to be over 0. It's going to be 58 yards over 5.8 seconds. So the question is, what speed did the student run in miles per hour? That means I need to move yards to miles, and I need to move seconds to hours. So to do yards to miles, I go up to my conversion, and I look right here. 1,760 yards equals 1 mile. Okay, I can use that. Now to do seconds to hours, if I do seconds to minutes, I know there's 60 seconds in 1 minute, and I know there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So I'm going to have to do two conversions for this one. So that means I start with converting miles and yards. So yards started on the top of this fraction, which means when I write it out as this fraction, I'm kind of going to ignore this one. I'm going to put it on the bottom. So 1 mile over 1,760 yards. That means my yards will cancel. So I'm in miles. Right now I'm in miles per second, but I want miles per hour. So now I have to work on the seconds. So my next fraction is going to be working with the seconds. My seconds started on the bottom, so I'm going to put them on the top. That way they cancel. And I know that 60 seconds are in 1 minute. So if I put this on the top and they cancel, I'm now in miles per minute because those are the only two units I have left. But my problem wanted it in miles per hour. So I need to do another fraction to get rid of the minutes part. So minutes are on the bottom here. So I'm going to put minutes on the top. So 60 minutes in 1 hour. So again, the minutes cancel off. So I still have mile here per hour. That's exactly what I want my answer to be in. So now I have all these fractions, which is fine because we're multiplying these fractions. So I'm just going to multiply straight across the top, then straight across the bottom. So straight across the top, I'll use my calculator and do 50 times 1 times 60 times 60. Okay, and that gives me quite a large number, like 180,000 miles. And then I'm going to use my calculator and do the same thing on the bottom, multiply the bottom numbers. So 5.8 times 1,760 times 1 times 1. And that gives me 10,208 hours. So this person ran 180,000 miles per 10,280 hours. That seems like a lot. So we can simplify this just by dividing these two numbers. So 180,000 divided by 10,208 will actually come out to 17.63 miles per hour. So just under about 20 miles per hour is how fast this student ran the 50-yard dash.